Welcome back to my channel. I'm Carol Aguirre. I'm a vegan registered dietitian who specializes in weight loss. I've had my own weight loss struggles, and now I help women just like you feel empowered in your vegan choices and feel amazingly confident on your weight loss journey. I offer a small group weight loss coaching program, a one-on-one weight loss coaching program, and meal plans. Okay, today we are going to be digging deep into what you should be looking for when you are choosing a protein bar. There are so many options out there in the market. It can be a little bit tricky as to navigate what exactly you should be looking for. Let's get started. The bar that I have is Go Macros. It says vegan. I think it's great. You never, ever want to go by the front of the package. That goes beyond protein bars. That goes for as far as any food is concerned. Food manufacturers want to sell their product. You need to look at the labels. You need to look at the ingredients. So let's take a look at their label. Calories is 200 calories, which is it's fair. Protein is only 4 grams of protein, so I'm not liking that. Let's look at the fiber. It's got 3 grams, which is a nice amount. Total sugars, it's 15 grams, which I'm totally okay with. As far as saturated fat is the next thing that I would look at. It has 0.5 grams, which is definitely on the lower end. Let's take a look at the ingredients. So the very first ingredient is brown rice syrup, which is a sweetener, so I'm not liking that. The second ingredient is rolled oats, and then you've got cherries, which is a combination of apple juice and sunflower oil, and the next ingredient is almond butter, which is where the protein's coming from. And you've got more sweetener, you've got other like raisins, which is probably where the 15 grams of sugar is coming from, and you're getting all this fiber because of all the fruit. So let's try this out. So let's look at the bar itself. So let's take a bite. It's really delicious, but it's nice and tart. But because these are only offering 4 grams of protein, you're choosing a protein bar. I definitely wouldn't really go for this one because the low amount of protein. It's got fiber in there. It tastes amazing. And I'm loving the ingredients, but it doesn't offer any protein, so it's not probably the best option. Next bar is Garden of Life. I absolutely love their protein powder. They have unflavored, very minimal ingredients. This performance protein bar is offering 20 grams of protein. I'm liking that. Let's look at the nutritional label. So first thing is 280 calories, so it's more calories. Let's look at the protein. It's got 20 grams of protein, which I'm loving that. It's got 9 grams of fiber, which is good because fiber, you want fiber. That is going to help you in addition to the protein to stay satiated, which is ultimately the goal of these protein bars. 6 grams of sugar, not bad by any means. Let's look at saturated fat. It's 3.5 grams, which is on the lower end. Let's take a look at the ingredient list. So very first ingredient is tapioca. Next is peanuts, and then it's the pea protein, which is the third ingredient. Ideally, you would want the first couple of ingredients to be the protein source, and this is the third ingredient. It's pea protein. I'm liking that. And then it's got vegetable glycerin. It's got pea crisp, and then it's got some chocolate coating, which I'm liking. It's got the sugar substitute, erythritol, which I'm not a big fan of, but I wouldn't also suggest that you're having these protein bars on the regular. I think in moderation, meaning like once every other week, I would totally love these. These sugar alcohols, not a fan of. They tend to cause GI distress. So not particularly my favorite option for a sweetener. But again, if you are having these randomly, I think this is a great option. Let's take a look at the taste. I'm loving the nutritional label. I'm loving that the third ingredient is the protein source. So we see here, it's got the chocolate coating, and it looks like a protein bar. So it's a little like a protein bar. Let's see what it tastes like. A little chalky. I am definitely tasting the sugar alcohol. I'm not a fan of the flavor. I love that it offers 20 grams of protein. And I love the amount of fiber that it does offer. It's low in sugar because of the sugar alcohol in there. It does have stevia. So I'm not sure if I'm tasting the stevia or the sugar alcohol, probably a little bit of both, which has got a funny little flavor to it. I probably would not buy these again. but I do like the 20 grams of protein. So I think these are fair. If you don't mind the taste, I think it's a great option. Bar I have are these Aloha. So let us look at the nutritional label. So per bar, 260 calories, a little bit less than the Garden of Life that we just tried. This is offering 14 grams of protein. I think the minimum I would suggest, 14 grams of protein, which I'm really liking that. It's offering 6 grams of fiber. Again, I'm loving that. As far as total sugars, it's got 4 grams of sugar. Saturated fat is 7 grams, which is on the higher end for a protein bar. I don't particularly like it. I think it's on the higher end. Let's take a look at the ingredient list. So first ingredient is protein blend. So I'm liking that the first ingredient is the protein source, which is brown rice protein, pumpkin seed protein. I think that's great. Second ingredient is a sweetener, that's tapioca. Then you've got almonds, you've got coconut. That's probably where the saturated fat is coming from. You've got chocolate chips, which is, again, a sweetener. You got vegetable glycerine, tapioca fiber, chocolate liqueur, which is probably the taste is coming from. And as far as a sweetener, they're using monk fruit, which let's see what these taste like. I'm liking the ingredients. I'm not liking that it's a little bit on the higher end for protein bar as far as saturated fat. I really love coconut, so I was excited to try this one. I'm liking this flavor a lot. I would buy these on occasion because of the saturated fat. I like that it's got 14 grams of protein, and the very first ingredient is a protein source. And they're using monk fruit as far as the sweetener is concerned. So I would buy these again on a very rare occasion because of the saturated fat. And taste-wise, these are very delicious. Last protein bar that I have is the No Cow. And I did a poll on Instagram, and across the board, everyone was curious about this particular No Cow brand of protein bars. So let us look at again, the label says plant protein. We want to definitely look at the ingredients, look at the label. So let's take a look at the nutritional label. This is 190 calories. So this is the least amount of calories in comparison to the others, which I like. Protein is 21 grams of protein, which loving that. Fiber, it's offering 17 grams of fiber, which is great. Saturated fat is 1.5. It's definitely on the lower end. Let's take a look at the ingredients. You've got protein blend. Again, the very first ingredient is a protein source, which is brown rice protein, pea protein. Definitely loving that. And then you've got glycerine, you've got peanuts, you've got a sweetener blend, which is stevia, monk fruit, and it's got the sugar alcohol. Again, I'm not a fan of the sugar alcohol, but I wouldn't suggest you have protein bars on the regular. So in moderation, would have these bars like maybe once every other week. That way, you're not really consuming sugar alcohols on a regular basis. It's very infrequently. Let's try these out and see what these taste like. So it's peanut butter flavor, and it looks, looks like a protein bar for sure. So let's look in the middle. I like these a lot, actually. Has a little bit of an aftertaste. That's probably from the sugar alcohol is what I'm tasting. And from the stevia as well. So combo of both. It's got definitely a little aftertaste. I would definitely buy these. I'm liking the protein source. I'm liking the amount of protein. I'm liking the fiber. I'm liking that it's low in saturated fat in comparison to this Aloha, which this is very tasty, but it's higher in the saturated fat. So this one's super random when I incorporate these. But this one I do like for the reasons I mentioned, the protein, the fiber, low saturated fat, and taste is pretty good. So definitely give these a thumbs up. So let's recap what I mentioned. So when choosing a protein bar, the first thing I would look at is the nutritional label. 1, check out the protein source. You want to have at the very minimum, at least 14, the minimum, and plus is what I would want to look for in a protein bar. You want to see fiber in there at the very minimum, at least 3 grams of fiber for protein bar. Look at calories. Under 300, I would suggest. The no-cow, I want to say it's got 190, so I'm liking that bar. You want to look at the saturated fat, the grams. 10 grams is on the higher end, it'll be on the lower end. You want it to be below 10 grams, and that's on the higher end for saturated fat, but take that into consideration because you want taste also. You want to enjoy these bars. Look at the ingredients. Ideally, you want to see that the first 1, 2, or third ingredient is going to be the protein source. Ideally, the first one would be amazing, but those are the things I would be checking out when you're navigating with these protein bars. And you want it to taste good so you actually enjoy it. You don't want to be eating these bars and being disgusted by it, which is another reason why I say have these bars randomly. Don't have these on a regular basis. I would not recommend it. Every other week, maybe have one of them just out of convenience. And these protein bars are not meant for a meal substitute. I would not use them as a meal substitute. I would use these as a snack. They're not very satisfying. When you're having a meal and you're adding volume, you have a lot to chew. It's more satisfying. You're gonna enjoy it that much more. These protein bars are something to have after a workout at the gym. When I mean a workout at the gym, or it doesn't have to be at the gym, some workout that you're adding in resistance training, that's when I would have these bars. If you went walking, I wouldn't suggest you have a protein bar. So resistance training, at least 30 minutes, and you want something before you're gonna actually eat. These are something to do every once in a while to incorporate them just because they are convenient. I would not suggest these as your go-to bars or go-to snacks. They're high in calories, they tend to be, and they're just not satisfying enough. I feel like you need more food, meaning more volume, in order for you to feel satiated. Please subscribe, like, and follow. If there's anything you would like me to talk about, any topics, please let me know in the comments. Until the next time.